Tribe, how are you doing? I don't know about you, but this Gemini energy is popping, and this is your energy update for this week. So I don't even know what day it is. I think it's like May 26th or something like that. Anyway, all I know is that my birthday is this May 30th. I'm super excited. I'm having a party, so you're invited. I hope you can come. This is a very interesting energy that we're feeling. Honestly, I woke up at like 7 a.m. this morning. There's so many planets in Gemini, like at least I feel like 4 or more planets are in Gemini, even though Venus is in retrograde. I talked about that before. And so it's interesting because the day of or the day after Venus went into retrograde, which rules money and beauty and love and markets and things like that, the stock market just took a nosedive, and I was trying to buy up everything I could until I ran out of cash flow. And now stocks are up 20-30 bucks. So for those of us that took advantage, so it helps to listen to Lada and horoscopes, and it helps to listen to people like me because I kind of see things coming. So the next big thing is, unfortunately, Venus is going invisible from May 30th, which is my birthday, this Saturday, until hopefully June 9th, and no later than that, because if it goes any later than that, then unfortunately we're going to be in for a longer financial downturn. So pray that it comes visible around June 9th and a couple days before that. So we've covered this before. So I just wanted to jump on here. Honestly, it's hot. It was like, I think 87 in Indiana the other day. Unbelievable. I just can't believe it. Feels like summer is here, even though we're still officially in spring. There is this lighter energy. There is a lot of energy in Gemini. Gemini is an air sign. It's a mutable sign. It's a sign of myself and my twin flame. We just went shopping this morning. It's the sign of shopping and sales and marketing and socializing and online and all that good stuff. And so right now you might be feeling a lot of movement. It's an air sign. A lot of people have been traveling for Memorial Day. Unfortunately, COVID has spiked. This is a very different world. Going to the mall, not every shop is open. It's kind of confusing. Why is Anthropologie open but not Nordstrom? So there's still that kind of confusion in us navigating. We have to wait in lines outside the store now. We went to a restaurant the other night, to celebrate our birthdays, and, it's that social distancing, tables apart, some people wearing masks, you can't eat with a mask. So it's just this kind of awkward transition phase that we're going through. And some of us, it's like, again, I said, a tale of two cities. Some people are just diving right in. I know that Hubs and I are taking the necessary precautions. We have our immunity strong. We're not a match to the disease, but we're still taking precautions, washing our hands, wearing masks, things like that. So when we are in public, it is awkward. Like, we were at coffee this morning at breakfast, and we were out there eating outside. The place was completely dead when we first got there. Our energy attracted some people. But, this place used to be popping a few months ago before COVID, so it's just a very different landscape. I can't even imagine. I need to dye my hair, for example. I can't imagine sitting for 6 to 8 hours. I'm probably not going to be able to wear a mask while they dye my hair. But unfortunately, I feel like the workers are taking the brunt of this, and they're the ones wearing masks, whether it's at restaurants or salons and things like that. So I feel like as long as one person's wearing a mask, at least we have some safety measure. So it's going to be awkward as you get out into the world. It is a completely different world. There are lines. There's business models shifting, like curbside checkout, where you could buy online, like with Crate and Barrel for my birthday. I bought a bunch of dishware and dining stuff, and I ordered online. Then I got curbside pickup. So it's a different world, and the name of the game is we need to be able to adapt and be resilient. There's a lot of us that are still in that forest energy of feeling a little lost in the sauce, like we're not sure how we're pivoting. I was just talking to a store owner. We bought Hub some presents for his birthday at this amazing men's clothing store called Heritage in our neighborhood. And they were just like, well, I asked them, I'm like, are you guys going online? And they said, yeah, we've taken this time to put our catalog online and kind of move in that direction, which I talked about for the next year and a half. It's going to be really huge with Rahu and Gemini. So, a lot of us are trying to pivot. A lot of us also are feeling, last week, I don't know about you, but there was this lack of motivation. We went through this portal, and last week, I feel like it was like Tuesday or something like that. It was like around May 20th to May 22nd, something like that. So I just felt like one day I just wanted to sleep all day. Like, I just went to bed early, got up late, didn't even want to wake up, to be honest. There was just like really intense portal energy that really kind of put us in this new timeline. Like we those of us that really took advantage of those of us that are woke, that have done our inner work, the energy boosted us to this new timeline where we were just kind of skipped over other timelines. So I don't know if this resonates. Message me, write in the comments if you felt anything from May 20th to May 22nd. And then the next day I couldn't sleep because the energy is so intense. And so I talked to another friend of mine who's not a Gemini. He said the same thing. And then we all got together at Allison's home. Again, great place for spiritual peeps for a moon circle. Gemini, of course, had to be there, drumming circle, so that was fun. But again, I just feel because there's so many planets in Gemini, even Mercury, which rules Gemini, it's just been such an intense energy, at least for me as a Gemini, to feel like not intense in a bad way, just like a lot of vibrancy and just wanting to move and wanting to shop and wanting to do things because we've been cooped up for so long. So I'm not sure if this resonates with you. And then it's been an interesting bag, of people's reactions. I'm curious, again, comment and interact and let me know what you're feeling. But there's been this kind of mixed bag. You have, when I reached out about my birthday party, for example, it's so funny. I haven't thrown a birthday party in for years, forever. And then, of course, I choose 2020 when the sky is falling and we have COVID-19 out of all years. But it's just, I feel like I want to celebrate. I want to celebrate myself. I want to celebrate my partner, who's also a Gemini, my twin flame and beloved. So it's just been interesting, feeling worthy of that, feeling worthy of being celebrated. I hate to say it, but I haven't felt that way for years. I feel more alive than ever. So go figure. But anyway, I think that's kind of what this epidemic has really done for me. I've heard a lot of people say that those of us that are energetically introverted, or people who have become that way because they're empaths. Again, I have a lot of empath clients. If you want to work one-on-one or do some of my online courses, that is my specialty, is to work with empaths and people with autoimmune or mystery diseases, because those are things that I've overcome in my hero's journey. So let's talk offline if that's you. And you feel like you resonate with me and connect and would love to be, part of the tribe and have me serve as your guide. I would love that. I'd love to help people transform and live their dream life. And so I feel like that's what's happening, is some of us have leapfrogged into this dream life timeline, and, we're living closer to 5D than ever, and really was able to do the work and transmute a lot of the heavy energies of the 3D world. Whereas I feel like some people are still stuck in, 3D and just a lot of fear. So fear and worry and all of those energies, they're not of the 5D, and so, or New Earth, if you will. So I feel like we're just kind of in between, because you have some people that, whether they're past incarnations. I had a client who felt like she might have gone out too soon in one of the flu epidemics, maybe 1918 or 1300 something, and just had her or one of her loved ones, suffer the consequences. And so she's been really apprehensive to kind of come out of the cocoon. So you have people like that are, not necessarily wanting to come out. And it's interesting, the responses I've gotten to my party is people who aren't coming out. Or people who are like, well, we're out of town because we're traveling. So the opposite extreme. So you have people who took Memorial Day weekend, hit the beaches, did these outdoor activities and pool parties and all these crazy things that unfortunately has caused this spike in the coronavirus epidemic. So you have, again, a tale of two cities. Which camp are you in? Are you in the camp of, I'm not coming out and I'm hunkering down, and still kind of a little bit, again, there's no right or wrong. I'm not judging either camp. Or are you in the camp that is hey, let's get back to life as normal and let's get this show on the road? So I'm curious to see if you can comment and send me a DM or a message. Let me know which camp you're in. I'm just curious about that. So I've gotten kind of both ends of the spectrum, and then I've had some people RSVP. Yes, actually, there's going to be lots of people there, which I'm really excited, because it's going to be super sweet to connect with everybody, especially after this time where we've gone into the cocoon, we've gone into the inner world. So many of us have gone through so many transitions. We've let go of so many dense energies, and we have some people coming out saying, I'm going to get divorced, and Some people coming out and saying, I'm going back to school and doing something completely different and shifting into a new paradigm. So it's really interesting. I'm curious to know where you're at. And I'm curious if you've been feeling this, lack of motivation, especially last week, and then now this kind of energy as fun and as light and airy as Gemini energy is, it's also quite scattered. So I'm curious to see if you felt a little scatterbrained or a little heady and just kind of was like, okay, well, I don't know how to move forward. I'm still uncertain about my industry. I mean, even though I've talked about people, we've gone to coffee shops, we've gone to, shop, and we've gone to a restaurant. So Hubs and I have done that in the last 24 hours. And again, it's been pretty dead. So what I'm saying is even though people are attempting to kind of get back to the new normal, it's certainly anything but what we experienced before the pandemic in early 2020. So things are definitely different. So I'm curious as to, how you guys are feeling about that, because businesses are still not at 100% capacity. And so, are you kind of hiding out and not feeling comfortable to kind of get back out there or restart your business? Or are you somebody who is, being creative and just kind of like changing up your business model and pivoting? So that's interesting. Something else I want to talk about is, how you've been navigating the change in season, right? So now it's like with being inside in cocoon, but then it's like warm out and it's sunny and you have that yang kind of energy and that Gemini energy wanting movement. And so has that been a struggle, and have you felt stagnant? Because a lot of times when we are uncertain and we don't have clarity, indecision is stagnant energy. And so something I read the other day, it's in my Lifestyle Reset and Thrive, which is still 50% off, by the way. I'm honoring that for May and hoping to have a group of us go through this in June. We have a couple of us. Would love to have you. So again, reach out to me if you're interested in healing your body of any mysterious illness or autoimmune, and you're interested in transformation and really kind of getting to a journey where you feel comfortable in your own skin and love yourself and are co-creating and manifesting your dream reality. So please reach out to me. But in that course, I've mentioned before, week 2 is like house detox while we detoxify our body. And so it's really important to, again, I keep saying this over and over, but it's important to look at objects as energy, because every piece of furniture, everything, every clothing item, everything like that has energy with it. Not only your own ka energy, which comes from the Egyptian tradition, but also it has an energy of its own, right? Because it's a material object, and everything in the universe is energy, including us. So I really do invite you to look at different pieces, especially as you're changing your paradigm, you're coming into these new timelines. I mean, things are drastically different on Earth. They are today than they have been in January. And I've been saying this for months. According to astrology, by July, we'll have really closed the door on the past and really invited the new dynamics of the future, the next 20 to 35 years. So it's important to look at your North Node and South Node. South Node is on your chart, is where you've been in past lives and lessons you've learned and things you're comfortable with, and your North Node is kind of where you're headed and what you're interested in. For me, it's all about Libra, relating energy, right? Teamwork, collaboration in my 5th house, which is the house of pleasure and being present and creativity, which I find true because over this quarantine, I've been collaborating with a lot of people. Hopefully you've been watching some of my Insta lives or my podcasts and things like that. So that's definitely where I'm headed. So I'm curious if you've looked at your chart, if you've looked at your astrological chart, if you've looked at your human design chart. So for me, I'm a manifesting generator, so I have a lot of energy to create. So now it's about not just creating everything under the sun, but also just like refining what I have created and sharing it with the world. So it's just really important to understand what you have, your defined centers, your undefined. So just really encourage you while you're still at home, while things haven't totally gone back to normal, to just continue to do that inner work, to explore who you are, to explore your relationships and your dynamics and what you want to birth for the next 20 to 35 years by July. Love you lots. Again, this is Rena with InsideJobHealing.com. Hit me up and let's talk.